So this morning I got up at about 6 a.m. and went out with my brother, whose Instagram name I'm going to put up. He does graffiti, and we went to these shared walls in Stockwell where you're allowed to paint, it's legal, and did some stuff. I came completely unprepared. He was teasing me about it. I don't know what I was thinking. I just kind of assumed he was going to give me his paints, which he didn't end up doing, so I wasn't wrong. And I borrowed his paints, and I just got started on something that I didn't plan at all. I just went for it. And so I started with this white outline with the spray paint. I then realised I'd done way too much, and it was a bit adventurous, so I thought I'd cut it down to 3 characters. So once I primed the wall, got the rough outlines in the black paint, and these characters, I don't know, they're half what I'd already done for my comic book Spitfire. They're half not. I didn't want to completely do that. I don't know why, I just didn't. And also I couldn't remember what they looked like. So I kind of made up these characters.
So I got these characters down. Not overly happy with the 2 on the left. I really like the 2 on the right actually. I think if you look at the paintwork on the bottom right hand one, it's quite varied. There are thin lines and thick lines, and there's also with the beard hair, that's quite nice. Whereas the 2 on the left I think are a bit cumbersome and very clumsy, and the line is just, there's only one register of the line. It's just kind of equally heavy and a bit clumsy throughout. Then I painted in the skin tone. The order to do things with these graffiti paints is a big part of the whole thing. Getting the logistics right is really important. So getting the white down first, then the outlines, blah blah blah. That was something I worked out along the way with my brother's help. Then I put in these nice Rafa coloured jerseys. This is just using the colours that my brother had. I think next time I will have to plan better and get down colours that I think would be really best for this kind of image. Something that I'm really paying attention to here as well is that once you do a certain amount of lines, there's a kind of rhythm to the whole piece which is created. So if you look at the curved shoulders and the curved heads and the curved chins, that creates a kind of pattern. And there's a lot of tension. If you look at the bottom left-hand guy's chin, that pokey sort of spade almost chin really juts out and actually doesn't work well with the piece. Similarly, if you just saw I took away his spiky helmet pattern, it just didn't work within the whole pattern and the framework of what I'd already done. And that's something I became aware of. The images are patterned because it's not shaded, it's not 3D. It's all about the kind of shapes and the patterns which come out. And this is the finished piece, me looking very proud of it.
Probably the most intelligent thing I said there was that once you've got these curves, that creates a pattern within the piece. And that is nice. It's appealing to look at. But when you've got curve, and then suddenly there's it creates a tension in the piece and it becomes unpleasurable to look at. And that's why that chin on that bottom left-hand guy really sort of stands out, and I would change that if I could change anything about this. I would then change the eyes and the black outline. I was running out of black paint, which really took me out of the kind of semi-flow state I was in. And when you start thinking about, oh, I'm running out of paint, what you're doing becomes secondary. It becomes less important. So I ended up just like sort of doing that, and it had a really bad effect. But I think another takeaway from this is that I'm glad I did something new. I'm really happy that I'm able to try my hand at stuff that I'm not that good at, and work through that process of working out how to get better at it. I really enjoy that whole process. I like learning new things, like playing the flute, the guitar, drums, singing, graffiti, painting. 2 years ago I didn't do watercolors. Or maybe even a year ago I didn't do watercolors. But I tried out, and I kept failing and cocking up to the point where I learned because I was more experimental with it. I think that experimentation is really key, and that risk taking is really key in improving, because it uses your whole brain and your whole kind of body and system. They come together when it's in that crisis mode of, oh, I don't know how to do this, or I've created a problem or an error. I think that's when your brain starts engaging and your system starts engaging, and you can really do something when you're struggling. It's annoying because it's a bit unpleasant being in that panic state, or that state where you feel uncomfortable. But yeah, I think it's fun being comfortable in that panic state and that state of not knowing, and experimentation. I think it's really important. So I've really enjoyed that. Next time I will be more prepared, bring my own paints, and I'll be more prepared by doing a picture that I've already designed. So watch out for that one. I will do that probably in the next month, hopefully. I'm looking forward to that, actually. Nice colourful peloton, I think. If you do want to keep updated with my work, there's many ways of doing that. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, blah, 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 social media. There's also the YouTube, you can subscribe below. Or if you want to get emails with other stuff that I do and blogs and things like that, and also dates for sales of my paintings, then go to the website captainsmithdesign.com. Join the email peloton is what I call it. And I will send you updates on the important things, movements in my career and any sales or anything like that. So hopefully I'll see you there.